What is up, guys? Now we're going to be covering the blue leaders out of the set 26. The first one's going to be Gogeta, and the leader ability allows you to basically use Union Skill with any of the Gogeta BR cards that you have at your disposal. So you're basically able to use Gogeta BR Union Skill by fusing from your drop area. That's really useful because now you're able to fill up your Z energy. When you're using the Union Skill of the Gogeta BR, you're allowed to add the cards from your drop area all the way to your Z energy. So this allows you to facilitate your Z energy really well without actually having the combo. But keep in mind, you do have the combo with this leader just so that you're able to have the 3 Z energy. Because alternative awakening condition here is that if you have 3 or more Z energy, draw 2 cards and add cards from your life to your hand. Until you have 6. So the idea here with this leader is that you're going to attack on the front side, and then you're not going to be able to awaken on mid-battle. In fact, you're only going to hit for 10, but once you're awakened, you can actually restand him. If you read here, it has the ability here to, if you have a battle card with a Union Skill in play, place one of your Z energy to the drop, which is going to be pretty easy since you're Union Fusion. Then you get to switch guys to active mode. And then the auto here is not once per turn when it does attack and draw a card. So every time he restands, you're going to be able to draw a card, and that's going to be really useful. And he does have the same skill as the front side here that allows you to fuse on the front side. Allows you to fuse from the drop area and place it into your Z energy. So because of that mechanic, I would say this leader is going to be really good, especially since you're able to Z charge really well, and you're able to play cards that have a high Z cost in general. But you're not going to abuse that. The Z extra card that you're going to be playing here is called Practicing Fusion. You ideally want to play this card on your turn 2 because it allows you to Z stack a Golden Frieza as well as a Whis waiting patiently. So one of them is going to be a battle card, and the other one's going to be a Unison. The battle card, let's go into the battle card real quick. It says here when this card is played, add up to 1 blue Gogeta BR from your Z energy to your hand. So it allows you to kind of like add cards that you might need as a toolbox from your Z energy back to your hand, especially since you have so many different Gogetas in this deck, and it also has blocker and 20k. You're able to play this card from underneath the Practicing Fusion by paying 1 energy, and then you place one of your Z energy into the drop area. And by doing so, you're going to play this guy out, and then you choose one of your opponent's battle card with energy cost of 4 or less and place it on the bottom of the owner's deck. So you're going to be doing a lot of bottom decking with this mechanic, as well as the entire cards. I would say a lot of the cards that are in the set allows you to bottom deck a lot of your opponent's cards, including the Z Battle and the Z Unison. The Z Unison is a 2 energy. You can play it out, and then you do the same thing as the Frieza. You place one of your Z energies into the drop area, and you play this guy with 2 markers out. And then he has dual attack, which is kind of nice. Usually Whis, canonically speaking, doesn't really attack at all into the anime. He's more of a defensive character, but they've actually made him decide to attack. And then you're also allowed to place one of your Z energy in the owner's drop, and then choose up to one of your leader's battle cards or Unison, and then allows you to basically switch the attack. So he is playing a little bit defense so that he can leave the markers up, and so that's going to be kind of nice, especially since he's able to play himself with 2 markers, and then you're able to redirect attacks to away from the Unison, and that allows you to combo pretty well so that you don't have the inability to not be able to combo. All right, so let's go into the let's go back to the Practicing Fusion. It also has another ability here, allows you to remove this card from the game and then KO or bottom deck one of your opponent's battle card, ignoring barrier, and then place it on the. It allows you to bottom deck a card ignoring barrier as long as you play an 8-cost Gogeta BR. There's not much 8-cost Gogeta BRs in this deck except for this one and the SCR. We're going to go into that in a few seconds, but the other main ability, the activate here is pretty important because it allows you to basically place the same Gogetas or the same materials that you use for your Gogeta back into the drop areas so they can basically use its ability without paying an energy. So we'll go into that in a minute, but by doing so, you're going to be looking at the top 5 cards of your deck and then add a blue Gogeta BR, and then when you do that, you discard a card. The discarding card is actually important too because you're able to add the other materials that you might need for the second Gogeta fusion. Sometimes you're able to play that in the same turn, so this deck can pretty much fuse several times in the same turn, which is really nice. So being able to add the materials that you might need, Vegeta and a Son Goku to be able to fuse into the Gogeta is kind of the idea of the deck. Okay, let's go into the boss. The boss here is going to be the SSB Gogeta Battle for Peace. Really cool artwork that he's able to lunge forward. I don't know what kind of move that is, but he's lunging forward and he's launching an energy attack against Broly, which is a really sick art in my opinion. Has double strike, and then you pay 2 energy to play this guy out if your opponent has 3 more energy. And they're going to be fusing the Goku and the Vegeta BR from your drop area, which is really nice. And then it also allows you to play, when it's played, you're able to bottom deck 3 of your opponent's battle cards. So a very cheap removal, being able to pay 2 energy, and then unfortunately it doesn't bottom deck it, ignoring barrier, but it's still fine. And it also allows you to place 2 of your Z energy into the drop area, which is going to allow you to make it so that your opponent discards bottom deck one of their cards from their hand, and then they get discarded from the battle. So that's going to be one of a hand destruction kind of thing, as well as being able to provide double strike. So that's kind of the boss battle card. And then let's go into the SCR, a really sick art, by the way. I love the art of this card. I would personally actually just try to own this card for collector value, and without actually playing the card itself. But if I want to make this deck, it's actually a really good deck as well. I think it's a pretty good blue deck because it allows you to attack twice, and then being able to draw cards every single time you attack. The ultimate here is able to do pay itself for 2 energy, and you're able to draw 2 cards. And it says here, if your opponent has 3 more energy, when this card is played, add up to 2 cards from the Z energy to your hand, which you're going to be able to do pretty well because you're going to be Union Fusioning. And then you're going to be able to add those 2 cards, and this card gains Barrier, Triple Attack, and Blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. So a lot of different keywords that he's able to gain. And on top of that, he gains a plus 10k power for the turn if you choose up to one of your Gogeta BRs in the activate main or battle step. So even on your opponent's turn, as well as your own turn, he's able to use this ability and then get the plus 10k power for the turn, or you can plus 10k power to any of your Gogeta BR cards, including your leader's backside. So enough about that. Let's go into the other Gogetas here. Let's go into this Gogeta here. This is the one that allows you to draw a card when he does attack, and that's really useful because he can restand as well and then be able to swing and then draw again. So a really powerful Gogeta here to be able to give you such a large hand size. And then as long as you're able to discard a card from your hand, you get to switch card to active mode, but then you're getting a lot of value because you're just swinging for 20k. Let's go into another Gogeta here. This Gogeta is called Battling a Strong Foe. I think this one's a really good one because it allows you to discard 1 card from your hand and then draw 2 cards. This is going to be useful, especially if you have too many extra cards that you don't want in your hand. Especially since we are playing the Majin Buu Unison, who's kind of outdated a little bit because we do play the Deborah as well as the Whis. So in the event that you don't have access to either Whis or Deborah, which is very unlikely, you can actually go for the Majin Buu Unison, just like the good old days, to be able to control the board using this guy. You can discard him from your hand and then draw 2 cards. If you have materials that you might need for the second Gogeta fusion, you can actually discard to the drop area and then be able to fuse from the drop area. Let's go into this one. This is going to be the both Son Goku and Vegeta name. So you'll need these 2 names so that at least you'll have the versatility in the event that you don't have the other names that you acquire in order to fuse. For the most part, you're going to fuse with this card, but you could play it out for 1 energy during the activate battle if you have 2 or more Z energy, and then it plays itself from the hand, choose up to one of your cards, and gets plus 5k power for the battle. It also allows itself to draw a card, so drawing is good. Really sick art, being able to see the tag team dynamic between the 2 Saiyans here in a fight. Also allows you to, when it does attack, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and then return it back to the owner's hand, and this card gets a plus 5k power for the battle. So it is going to be hitting for 25k at max, or 20k at minimum. So that's cool. Then we also have another Gogeta here. We also have this Gogeta. I decided to play 4 copies of this because you want to see it on the turn 2 play, because he's going to be able to restand an energy, because the leader, if you read the leader's awakening ability here, he doesn't have the ability to untap an energy when he does awaken, but he is drawing 2, so you're going to use the extra cards that you're drawing, and hopefully you're able to see this particular Gogeta early so that you can untap an energy on your turn 2, so you can actually use your negates, your Ultra Instinct Magic to be able to survive until the next turn. He also has another ability here to be able to give your leader plus 5k when he is played. So a lot of different cool skills that I would say going for this one, but this is what you want early game. That's why I played 4 copies of it, so you don't miss on the turn 2. We also play the 4 of the Android Defending Friends. Since you are Z charging quite heavily in this deck because you are Union Fusioning, you could use Android 17 Defending Friends to be able to meet the criteria to be able to play this guy for 1 energy. And that's why I decided to play 4 copies, because you want to max this guy out, because you're going to be stalling until you're able to win. Well, just sheer pressure of being able to play all your Gogetas and then being able to control the board really well. Let's go into the 1-drop. So you're going to be playing on the first turn. The Gogeta Long Awaited Battle here is a card that lets you look at the top 5 cards and add a Vegeta BR or a Gogeta BR or a Vegeta BR to your hand. So it allows you to basically add the cards that you might need to your hand. He also is reduced down to 1 energy. So if you have a leader that's Gogeta BR, which it is, and then you can't attack unless you have more than 3 Z energy. So there's that. So these guys can't really attack. This one's kind of the counterpart, but it searches for the Goku instead of the Vegeta. That's kind of the idea. You probably want to start with these cards in the first turns of the game so that you're able to fuse quite nicely. This Goku here is able to discard a card, but you're only able to play this guy on turn 2, and then you also dump the other Vegeta Snowy Mountain Battle so that you're allowed to Union Fusion from your drop area quite nicely. And this one does the opposite, where it dumps the Goku from the deck to the drop area. So that's kind of the synergistic effect. I opted to play 2 and 2 because you kind of don't really need too much of that. You do have these guys that allow you to draw a card. Let's go into another Gogeta here. This Gogeta is called Fusion Achieved. This is the one that allows you to have blocker, and then it gives barrier into the end of your opponent's turn. So you have a 20k barrier blocker, and it does switch itself to active mode at the end of your turn. So you can at least swing in with this guy once before you're able to restand him and to be able to block an attack. It's kind of nice. I think I went through all the Gogetas. Yeah, for the most part I did. The new card out of the set is it's meant for the Broly archetype. But this one is actually very versatile. If you read here, it says that you can play itself if your leader is blue for 2 energy, and then has an ability in the activate main here to restand himself after he attacks, being able to bottom deck one of your opponent's battle card any cost, and it gets double strike if your opponent has 3 or more energy. So that's kind of nice, being able to provide 35k double strike. And then being able to attack once, so that's what 3 damage total for 2 energy. I think that's a good trade-off, especially since the stats is so high with this one. So I definitely think this is going to be a blue staple, being able to put such a large body onto the board, and then being able to control your opponent's board as well as being able to provide double strike. I think this card is pretty invaluable for blue cards going forward. We also have some old cards, but we're not going to go into this because we kind of know what the old cards kind of do. So yeah, that's pretty much for the deck profile. We're going to go straight into the gameplay right after this, so stay tuned for that. Alright guys, this is going to be the gameplay video. So we're going to see the turn by turn of the Gogeta deck, and we're going to see how well he does. So we shuffle our deck here and then draw our 6 cards to see what we can want to start off with. And it does look like we see some Vegetas as well as no Goku, but this one does allow us to dump the Goku on turn 2 in the event that we want to be able to do so. We don't have a way to see the Goku, but at least we do have a Gogeta here, and we also have this Gogeta, so it seems to be a keepable hand. So we are going to keep this hand out, and then we're going to put our life out here. So the Majin Buu here is probably going to be charged here. I know that he's a good card, but we are going to charge him because we want to see other cards. So first turn of the game here, we are going to play the Vegeta here, and that's going to allow us to look at the top 5 cards of our deck, and then add a Goku or a Gogeta. Most likely a Goku if we can find it, and it looks like we have 2 choices of Goku. Let's add the one that has the versatility name, and then being able to shuffle our deck here. Okay, so once we're doing that on our opponent's turn here, we are going to Z-charge this guy because we want to play out the Perfecting Fusion Z extra card. Okay, now we're going to start our turn again, and then we're going to charge another card. We do have the Debut Fusion, and we do have this one. So which one's the worst one? Well, since we can't play, since we already have the Vegeta here, and he's the one that can dump the Goku, we might need to find a Goku here, but we do already have the Goku already, so we're going to charge this guy. Okay, so right off the bat, we're going to pay the 1 energy here to send off the Vegeta to the drop area. This allows us to basically play the Practicing Fusion, but it also puts the Vegeta in the drop area so that we are able to play out this guy and then Z-stack the Whis as well as the Golden Frieza. Okay, let's put it out here so we can make some space. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do here is we need to find a way to put the second Goku into the drop area as well as be able to Z-charge. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to swing with this leader here, and that's going to allow us to look at the top 5 cards of our deck. And then we're going to actually combo on this attack after we're able to find the cards. Looks like we did find a Gogeta here, but we also found a Vegeta. So since we don't have this Gogeta already, we're going to add this card to our hand. I believe we can add this card as long as there's a blue Saiyan, which is why we decided to play the super combo as well. Okay, and then from here, we're going to actually charge, Z-charge, and then also send one to the drop. So we're going to try to send this off to the drop, and then we're trying to Z-charge one so that we can actually awaken on the same turn. So let's try to charge, we're going to charge this one. Yeah, so we can probably fetch this up later using one of our skills. So after this on the battle, we're going to let it end. He's going to hit for 20. You're going to Z-charge this card, and then you're going to place this in the drop area. Very important that you do this. And then from here, you're going to pay the 1 energy here to basically be able to play this Gogeta, which allows you to resound your energy. So what you're going to do here is you're going to place these both cards into your Z because you are Union Fusioning from the drop, and that's kind of the mechanic or the gimmick of your leader. And now you fulfill the requirement here to be able to awaken. So don't fret about not being able to awaken and then hit for harder, because on the backside, he is going to be able to draw 2 cards on awaken, taking 2 cards from the life, and then he's going to be able to restand himself. Since you filled up a nice drop, nice Z energy, you can actually place one in the drop area. So let's do that here. We're going to use the leader ability here to send off one of the Gokus and Vegetas, and then he's going to restand himself, and they're going to be able to attack and then draw an extra card. So a lot of cards being drawn already off the top of the bat, and that's not over yet. We can see here swinging for he actually hits for 20 because this card here says your leader gets plus 5k power for the turn. So you're going to swing for 15k here, and that's not over yet. You're going to use the Practicing Fusion, and you're going to send the Vegeta to the drop area, and that's going to allow you to look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and then that's going to be able to fill up your drop area with a Goku and a Vegeta, so you can actually fuse again. Looks like we have another Gogeta option, and we kind of want to thin out our deck, so let's add in this Gogeta here and then dump the same Gogeta that we added. So actually we're not going to dump the Gogeta. We're actually going to dump a Goku, because now we have another name in the drop area so that we can do 2 fusions the next turn. Okay, so we've already attacked with him. Now we're going to use his ability at the end of the turn, and we're going to place him into the drop area, and that's going to allow you to restand energy. So now you only have 1 card in your Z energy, but you're not going to floodgate him on the first two turns of the game. Most likely, since you have no unison out, they're going to try to swing at your life, which is good for you because you want to go down anyways. They're not going to not attack your leader, so they're going to do that and taking you down to 5 life. Most likely they could attack again. Let's just say they attack again, and now your super combo's live, and now you have your D magic. So at this point in the time of the game, on turn 3, you're gonna be able to put in a lot of pressure. Let's try to charge one of our Gogetas since we have so many copies of him in our hand here, and we can actually start off with playing this guy because he is able to attack twice and then draw a card multiple times. So let's do that. We're going to Union Fusion right off the bat. We're going to play the Gogeta here. That allows you to fuse from the drop area. And now you have a Goku and a Vegeta, which is good. We're going to place these 2 back into the Z energy. And now you have access once more to be able to play the 3. And then he's also able to attack twice. So what we're going to do here is attack with him, drawing a card, and then he hits for 25k. And now you're going to use his ability, since you have 3 more energy, to discard a card from your hand. We're going to discard the Vegeta, so it allows us to have the materials required for the next time. And then you're going to be able to attack again and then draw yet again. So he's hitting for 25k twice, and that's really good. And then that's not all yet. We can actually swing in with a Gogeta here, drawing us a card. And then that allows us to hit for 15, and then use his ability again to send a card from the drop area, or from the Z energy to the drop, and then restanding the Gogeta and then attacking again. So tons of draw power right off the bat. As you can see, this leader is going to be definitely a force to be reckoned with in the next set. Then we're going to pay the 1 more energy. We need to find a way to put 1 more Z energy so that we can play our Android 17. So let's try to play another Gogeta here. Let's play the this Gogeta since we haven't played it yet. We're going to put both the Gokus and the Vegeta into the energy here, or into the Z energy. So now we have 2 of them, and then he comes out and play, and then he bottom decks when he does attack. Before we do that, we're going to discard 1 card from our hand to draw 2. So let's discard a let's discard one of the Gokus and Vegetas, and then draw 2 cards. So already off to a good start, attacking for 20k. And then at the end of the turn, you're basically going to use this time to use D magic on the first attack. So a lot of defense right off the bat, and then you can actually floodgate them with the Android 17 here. So a lot of different ways that you can control the board as early as turn 3, even turn 2 if you open up really well. And then we're going to take our turn again. So after that, we floodgate them. We're going to charge the Oob, because even though Oob is a cool card, we're going to play other cards just because we haven't seen them before. So if we've already played 3 of the 4 Gogetas, let's start by playing our boss monster here, and that's going to cost 2 energy right off the bat. And then making sure that we have the materials, and we do. So now we have 6 Z energy right off the bat, and that's going to be really useful. And then this guy's going to be able to double strike, bottom deck 3 cards on your opponent's side, and also being able to control your opponent's hand, which is really nice as well. So we can, let's just say they combo, we can actually use the ability to send off the Goku and the Vegeta to the drop area. And then now you have 4 cards in your Z energy, which is good. And then we can attack twice. You guys kind of have the flow of the leader already. Let's just pretend we didn't play this guy on 4. And instead of that, we're going to play the Broly here for only 2 energy, same as before. So we're going to pay the 2 energy, and he's able to do a lot as well, being able to attack for 35k, and then restanding himself, and then being able to bottom deck one of your opponent's cards. And then they have 300 more energy, and then you have double strike. So that's another way you can kind of control the board too as well. But let's say we're feeling a little bit more adventurous, and we're going to play the SCR of our of the set, which is only 2 energy, and then I can just draw 2 cards like no one's business. and then have so much keywords to back that up. I think that's pretty good. So drawing 2 cards, and then your opponent, you can add 2 cards to from your Z energy to the hand. So we can add like cards that we might need. Let's just add this to Goku's hand. So a lot of like combo power already off the bat, and then we have a 55k. We have a 55k SCR that has triple attack. I think that's pretty good. It's going to do a guaranteed damage. So really strong SCR and really cool artwork. And then we can be able to floodgate them, demagic them, and then actually use the Super Saiyan Kamehameha as well. Let's see what we haven't done yet. I think we've pretty much gone over everything except for under the cards. We haven't gone through one of the Gogetas, I believe. Yeah, this is the one that allows you to have blocker, but you can kind of get a guess what it does. In some turns, you're able to actually play the Unison and the Z extra or the Z battle card, such as Frieza, to be able to add cards from your Gogeta from your Z energy to your hand. You can also play the Whis as well for 2 energy. It just depends. But on turn 4, you have access to everything in your card pool and to be able to basically control your opponent and do so much damage so early on, keeping a large hand size. This leader actually kind of reminds me a lot of the old SS4 Gogeta back in the day. Being able to draw so many cards a turn and being able to draw 2 cards is kind of nuts. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think we've didn't cover anything else. Yeah, for the most part, we covered everything. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and then I'll see you guys on the next one for Broly. And then my afterthoughts of this leader is that it's going to be very much a sought-after leader to be played because one, the art is amazing, but also the gameplay mechanic is very fluid and very straightforward and linear. And it's so strong that it's going to be something that you'll have to watch out for going forward. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.